And about 2 years into that, we started R&B Kitchen, which is a soul food takeout restaurant that blends Caribbean fusion foods and Southern USA foods, Texas style foods, and really just trying to bring Black Nova Scotia to the masses, right?
Sure,
mixed in with our culture as well. Currently, we are the only standing African Nova Scotian restaurant, which is crazy to think about. But you know, we wear it with pride, and want to continue to strive and bring our culture and our food to Nova Scotians. Yeah, founder, on paper CEO, president, but the firefighter. Every day there's a new fire. Every day there's something new to do. Whether I got to make deliveries because the driver called in sick, or I got to be in the back making cornbread, taking no trash, whatever needs to be done, washing dishes, and really just trying to help keep the lights on and grow the business. The cool part for me, I actually went to about 4 or 5 different high schools. Through my basketball journey and career, it caused me to move around. So I was in school in Pickering, Ontario for my first year. Then I moved to Huntington, West Virginia for 2 years, and I moved to Orangeville, Ontario for a year, and then my last year back in Pickering, Ontario. 4 schools, but unique for me because, again, being a basketball player, almost a basketball star, my life was basketball in school, but I was able to, in all those different places, meet so many different people and see so many different forms of teaching and education styles, and just going from Canada to the States, different school zones, different districts, but definitely a unique experience, and it's one that I value and cherish. High school engagement for me was super high. If we're saying 1 to 10, I'd probably say a 9. Again, for me as an athlete and wanting to chase my career as an athlete, I knew a great part and a great asset for me would be great grades. Right. So, I had to average a 4.0. I got calls from schools like Harvard and Princeton and Columbia, for basketball. But a part of that was because my grades are so high. So, I had to be fully attentive to make sure my grades were high, because I wanted to, go to a school like that and not make, and get a full ride, because I wasn't able to pay for school. So, high attention level in school for me.
Yeah.
I think I connect with people, and I'm willing to learn anything, and excited to learn anything with the right teacher. So, I remember in maybe my first year I hated English, but then my second year I loved English, because I had a teacher that dove down the poetry realm, and dove down public speaking, and dove down similes and metaphors, and learning all these terms and great pieces of English, and just being wild and amazed every day coming to class excited. Math, always enjoyed math. A money guy, numbers guy, a guy that really values that. But then, there were certain teachers where math was just, I was dreading math. And then we go into other areas of, math, where we're tying in finances and stocks and things like that, and really enjoying that. History, similar. I remember early on in history, Canadian history, didn't really care too much for it. There's some changes that can happen in Canadian history, a little bit more Black history in there. But then going to the States and learning world history, learning guys like Genghis Khan and the Vikings. And I had a real traditional American history teacher with a beard, plaid shirt, laid back, funny guy that really enjoyed the Vikings and really enjoyed, all of that stuff. And he made it fun for us to learn about, the Byzantine empires and all those cool things. So, I'm going down memory lane of all those courses, but a lot of fun, gym class, right? And then getting into the other levels of gym class, where I guess physical education and learning about the body and learning about nutrition, and that's where a lot of my nutrition beliefs and rabbit holes were sparked from it, those early days of physical ed and health, if you will. So yeah, a lot of courses I enjoyed, a lot of different areas, and I think the main piece for me were the teachers, and then maybe even timing of me wanting to learn about that subject. Definitely has some value. I talk about this a lot with young guys. I say, oh, well, I don't need school to go to run a business, or I don't need to go to university. I think first and foremost, school gives you a foundation of how to learn, right? So here's this topic, go figure it out, right? So that research, those parts have been huge. Simple things of grammar and the 3 different theirs that you learn in English class that matter if I'm writing an email to someone or writing a contract or whatever the case is. So that foundation is crucial. Reading comprehension, everything that we get drilled that now help me do what I do today, right? And then there were some sprinkles of like civics class. Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or take the aptitude test and see what fits your skill sets. And for me, it was, and I usually knew how to trick them. Like I knew I wanted to be a finance guy. So oh, do you like money? Yeah. Do you want to work behind a desk? No. So those kind of ones. But those kind of things that help shape my brain to say, I got to spend more time here, more attention here. And then you would get the odd finance class and the odd, entrepreneurship class or the business class that gave you the intro to some of the things that I'm doing now. The parts that I think I could have got more value, and I think entrepreneurs could get more value, and that's what we're here to talk about, is there's just some practical things that I had to figure out when I first wanted to start a business, like how do you register a business, or what are the types of businesses, what do taxes look like, all the things we have, financial literacy, all the things we usually talk about that people say school missed the mark on, but the simplest things of what's a mortgage and how to use mortgages and loans and investments, and university, when you go down the finance world, you usually get to learn that stuff, but even then you still don't really get to learn it until you do it, right? So I think more exposure to those sorts of things, more exposure to it would have been great to just have entrepreneurs come into class and speak and let us know, because I remember in high school just thinking like entrepreneurs or business owners are this far off thing that nobody can attain, but now being in it, I'm no different than anyone else other than just taking the steps, taking action, having the risk tolerance, whatever those things are. So I think, more exposure there. And then, to come back to the original question of things that weren't valuable, it's a tough one for me because I'm a guy that values everything. And it might not be perceived as value until whenever it is art valuable? Yeah, is it valuable to entrepreneurs? One could argue, but I definitely see the value in it, and helping shape my creative mind, and maybe I wanted to go down an art path. So more pondering I got to do on that, but yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. The one that stands out to me was my English teacher. I can't remember her name in Pickering High School, but her style, wasn't so much like read the textbook, do the assignment. It was like, we learn together, and she did a lot of speaking. I'm a audio learner. I appreciate conversation. I appreciate talking next to each other, and then she'd give us a assignment like prepare a speech for a 2-minute speech. Or memorize a speech, and that was like the first time I had to public speak, and that style really resonated with me, and I think most of my teachers, that's the laid back style, the laissez-faire, but we're still getting work done, of not so much the structure we usually see of textbook, read the textbook, come to class, get the lesson, go home, do the homework, but more of a, we're all learning as a group.
Right.
We're all learning as a class, and the teacher is there learning with us. And I remember another class, I think it might have been like a social science class, like another great teacher where every day was just a discussion, depending on what that discussion was. And the whole class had the opportunity to share their input. Everybody had a voice, and you could learn so much from other students and the teacher. And he was willing to learn as well and challenge opinions and have his opinions challenged. And I think that style really worked well for me, and I think it worked well for other students as well, because usually in those classes, everybody was engaged. People were excited to come to class rather than the classes where you'd skip or you dreaded because it's just like we're robots, right? So that style, I think, really resonated. Yeah. There's a lot to do, but I think the first thing is exposing students to entrepreneurship in high school. So through mentorship, through people like myself coming into the schools and speaking and sharing our experience and sharing our story. I think every time I've been able to do that in high schools, it's been a great response.
Yeah, you inspire.
Right.
Yeah.
It's someone that looks like them. I come dressed how I dress. I got cool shoes on and stuff that they can relate to, and I can pull up my TikTok page and show them the followers we got and show them how that directly results in money. And money's a huge motivator.
And things that they can relate to.
Exactly. So, I think that's a first great start. And entrepreneurs usually love doing that stuff. I think give back is a huge part of my makeup, at least, but for a lot of people. And then just curriculum-wise, similar exposure to, when I talked about things like marketing, and there's a lot of cool things that happen in marketing. I think youth, especially in this world where everyone's on social media, everyone enjoys social media, the back end of what's really happening and how the world really turns and how money is really made. There should be a class just called Money. And for me, I would have loved to take that class in high school and, an opportunity to make money in the class, right? Real actual money. Things like that, just being creative with what we do. I usually tell people the greatest way to learn business is to start a business, right? So for me, the class would literally look like day one. You come in, let's pick a business, right? Let's expose you to business. What are you interested in? Let's find your interests. Okay, cool. What is interest? Like I do it with anyone I meet, that they say, hey man, I want to start a business. Well, I ask them, what are you interested in? And they'll end up saying, oh, nothing really that could be a business. And they'll tell me like, well, I like to do my taxes. I'm like, well, that's a business.
Yeah.
You could do taxes for people. Or I like to make sure my credit's high. Well, yeah, you can help other people build their credit. So we would do something like that. And then throughout the year, we're just going through the process of creating that business. And there's steps along the way. Day 2 would be, let's find the structure. Day 3 would be, how much money do you need to have for the business?
Introducing them to all like the business.
Exactly. Day 4 would be the market research and finding the marketing strategy and the plan. And within that, there's a lot that we can learn and teach at that each step while building the business. And I say it all the time. Like I learned a lot in high school. I learned a lot in university. But these last 3 or 4 years of building a business have been the most learnings I've ever had, because I'm speaking to so many different people. I'm dealing with so many different things. I'm, researching so much. So I think that process of starting a business, and any entrepreneur will tell you, those first year or 2 years, you learn a ton. So if we could create a class to help people start a business, there'll be a lot of learning within that class, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. No, thank you.
Taking time out of your busy day.
No problem. This is great stuff. This is great stuff, guys.